When I think of some of my favorite games, Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild, Escape from Tarkov, Tekken, they seem very different, but the funny thing is, they share something in common. They've all made me want to Alt F4 and uninstall at least once.
Fuck! Fuck this shit! Came in this fucking room and everything went fucking bad. Fuck this shit, man.
But that's the funny thing. That's actually why I love them, because they make you earn everything. That next rank up in Tekken, that next quest finished in Tarkov, that next boss defeated in Elden Ring, that feeling when everything finally clicks is something special. Today, I'm gonna break down why these games are so rewarding and what their difficulty can teach us about not just these games and gaming in general, but life. Difficulty in games gets a bad rap. People say it's gatekeeping or hard games aren't for everyone. Personally, I think they are. Difficulty is one of the most powerful tools a game can use to connect with the players. It's not about frustrating the player. It's about transforming them. A good, hard game, a good challenge, forces the player to grow, adapt, and to prove to yourself that you can overcome the difficulty. Let's take a look at our first game here, Elden Ring, who uses its difficulty not just because game hard, lol, but the very essence of its difficulty in and of itself is part of the story that it's telling.
Well, a lowly tarnished, playing as a lord, I command thee now!
So, Elden Ring. What I personally believe to be the pillar of the Souls-like genre from FromSoft. This game expects you to struggle. Every boss is a wall. Every time you think you have hit your limit, it asks for just a little more. You finally defeated Godskin Duo. Cool. Now you gotta fight Melania. You finally defeated Mesmer the Impaler. Cool. In 3 hours, you have to go fight Radon. But when you finally beat that boss, whoever it may be, the impossible, towering nightmare that you have found yourself fighting for the past 10 goddamn hours, you don't just feel like your character has leveled up. You, yourself, have leveled up. The reward, it's not just the runes or the good loot that they might offer or the fact that you're progressing more in the story. It's growth. Personal growth that you yourself stepped up to the challenge and beat him. That's something FromSoft does better than honestly anyone. They make the player's journey the real prize. Beating Melania or Radon isn't about skill alone. Obviously, skill helps, or, using an overpowered build, right? But, your first time through, you don't know any of that. So, you're just wailing back and forth against the bosses. But it's where persistence, patience, and the willingness to fail over and over until you can understand the fight. Where you can understand how to get past Melania, or you understand Radon's moveset, or Mesmer's ungodly annoying snake attack that he has. God, I fucking hate that thing. It's like mastering a real life problem, whether that be the math test you thought you were going to flunk, or the one project your boss gave you that you've been racking your head on and you finally got it done. Elden Ring teaches you that the progress, it's It's not always obvious, but it's there. In every failed attempt, you are one step closer to your ultimate goal, whether it be learning a new skill, acing that math test, or, in this instance, finally overcoming that insanely difficult boss. Where Elden Ring's main difficulty comes in how difficult its bosses are, Breath of the Wild's difficulty comes in the world. It's a completely different kind of challenge. It doesn't just give you a boss fight right away to say, smack this guy for 10 hours until you can get it. Instead, after the 10-minute tutorial, it just says, go fight Ganon. That's it. It doesn't really give you a direct way at doing things, which is why I think it's really interesting to put these games right after each other, because they're both open world with lots of freedom. But Elden Ring is ever so slightly more linear than Breath of the Wild, where you could literally go straight from the plateau to fighting Ganon, or you could spend 100 hours doing dungeons, cooking recipes, doing little side quests before you go fight him. The freedom of the open world in Breath of the Wild gives like a self-directed difficulty. The game trusts you to make lots and lots of mistakes. You're gonna walk into the freezing mountains without any equipment that is going to keep you warm. You're going to drop your final weapon mid-fight and be stuck running around grabbing sticks to kill a bokoblin. You're going to get struck by lightning because you didn't unequip your metal gear. You're going to go out into the desert and die from heat because you aren't properly dressed. But every time the environment punishes you, you learn something. And then you adapt. Sometimes you'll experiment to find out, okay, what else is going to happen? Breath of the Wild rewards curiosity just as much as it rewards skill. And it doesn't punish failure, but it makes it into discovery. That's just a reflection of life. You don't need someone telling you what to do every single step of the way. Sometimes you just need enough direction so you can go and figure it out all by yourself. Alright, time to shift gears completely. From 2 open world, adventure, solo, single player games to Escape from Tarkov. The game whose developers might actually fucking hate your guts. You can lose everything in less than a second. Your gear, your loot, your progress, it's all gone. Nada. Tarkov is an easy game to play. Keyboard, mouse, WASD, it's a shooting game. Its difficulty isn't really rooted in its mechanics, but everything going on in the world, it's like a psychological difficulty. There is tension through risk. Every decision matters. Am I going to bring in my extremely expensive gear to potentially lose it while I'm doing this quest? Or am I going to run not as good gear, thus lowering my survivability, but if I die, I'm not losing the stuff that took me hours and hours to get. But when you finally make it out alive, you extract with that one item you needed for your quest, or you just wiped out a 4-man. It is incredible. Because that success is earned. Tarkov makes you appreciate the small victories. It's not about winning every time. It's about just surviving long enough so you can keep going. Sure, you needed to kill 20 scavs for this quest. And you only got to kill 2. But you lived the raid. And honestly, living the raid is a lot more important than making a buttload of progress. Sure, you didn't kill the guy who had an SVD about 100 meters away from you, but you ran out with a rare piece of loot that you can sell to make a better kit. You know? That lesson that it's okay to lose, that you can just, hit the next raid, keep trying, take the small victories when you can. It's one of the hardest lessons that you can learn in not just these games, but just life itself. Alright, and on to my last game, Tekken 8. And honestly, this goes for every fighting games. Tekken 8 is just the one I felt like talking about. But, needless to say, Tekken 8, the comfort game that never really feels comfortable. I'll play any fighting game whenever. It's kind of chillax for me. But even though fighting games are the purest test of improvement, there's no RNG, there's no loot, no builds to claim, it's just you versus one other person. Every loss is personal, but so is every win. You finally overcome your opponent who just keeps blocking and blocking and blocking. Figure out, I'm just gonna grab their ass. It's an amazing feeling. By the way, got a whole video about fighting games uploaded on the channel about a week or two ago. Go check it out if you want to hear more. Tekken teaches you discipline. It rewards study, patience. Your ability to stay calm under pressure is your ultimate tool in a match. When you finally execute that perfect combo, or you can predict your opponent's move, it's basically like solving a Rubik's Cube in real time. You're not just fighting another opponent, you're fighting your past self. All your mistakes, all your successes, molding into you, the player, and what you were able to accomplish in each and every single fight. In beating yourself, beating your mistakes, feels amazing. Alright, so Escape from Tarkov, Tekken, Breath of the Wild, Elden Ring. When I look at all these games, they do seem on the surface quite different. But the one similarity, the way they use difficulty to create meaning. The brutal bosses of Elden Ring, the quiet perseverance of Breath of the Wild, the punishment of Tarkov, the mind games of Tekken, all push you to get better, to be better. Not just at the game, but at facing failure. To fail is to learn, and that's something a lot of people overlook. Difficulty isn't there to keep less skilled players out. It's there to invite you to grow as a person, to show that you are capable of a lot more than you think. And that's something I think a lot of us might take for granted. Whereas in a hard game, you can just quit. In real life, that's not something you can do. So, tie your shoes back on, soldier. Go out into the fray. Learn from your mistakes.